Hello, my name is Chuck Ross, and we're playing Minecraft. And today, whoops, too many. Let me show you what I've done so far. First of all, I'm starting to rearrange the floor, because I realized when I first laid this down, I didn't have any of the walls up or anything. And I'm also, not right now, but eventually I'm going to be changing up the ceiling a little bit, because, like the floor, I put the ceiling up before I had the walls in. So I'm now going to realign, well, not now, but, later, I'm going to realign the ceiling with the actual room layout. I went ahead and got the rest of these guys in their little rooms. Some of them farther along than others. And I went ahead and made this 2 rooms rather than 3, because I really just need 2 large rooms rather than, 2 medium-sized rooms and a small one. And then up here, we have all of the Fletchers, the Masons, yeah, and then the 3 villagers, the 3 farmers I got. And then I also went back and saved the Nitwit. And you may be wondering what this giant red box is for. Obviously, it's for breeding. However, the reason that I'm going to be breeding these villagers right now is because I want iron. As you may have seen last Tuesday, I was working on iron farm stuff, and reading through all of the instructions and information on just like how they work and all, I decided to make a video on that, which I hope you enjoyed, and if not, check it out. It's like 5 minutes. But what I want to do is actually build an iron farm. Yes. I don't have to make it to the actual point. I'm going to build an iron farm right over here. Or actually, it's technically going to go right over here. And this will be a lot of fun, because it's not just going to be... Oh, I missed some of these. It's not just going to be an iron farm. And I think we'll get there when we get there. But what's going to be really cool... Nah, I'll go ahead and spoil it. Why not? I like you guys. You can keep a secret. So I'm going to have an iron farm in here, inside a mine structure. And then that iron farm is going to feed into a mine cart that is going to load up all of the iron and then come down a track outside of the mountain, outside the out of the mine entrance, and then kind of swerve back and forth down this hill until it gets to this building, where it's going to then dump the iron, and the iron is going to be automatically turned into iron blocks. It's so cool. I just hope I can get this right. So, first, I need to breed up villagers. And probably wax this roof. So much to do. I'm also laying out a town square here, since I did that recently in the Java Coast server. I kind of felt like I knew a little bit better on how to design them, so I'm trying to do that here. But that is a problem for another day. In the meantime, I've got villagers to breed, so I'll see you in a bit. And first you push the button, get him going along, then you push the button, then you get the next one going. I see a slight flaw with this. And then we push the button, wrong button, and then we give him some carrots, and then we break you guys out. Well, have fun, you guys. Okay, I did not realize that was a full block. And now we wait. Well, pro tip, don't try to set up a breeder in the middle of what you have just accidentally created a village, because it makes things just a little more annoying. So I had to go back through and give everyone their own bed and their own workstation, and that includes every single guy down here as well. Oh, they don't have workstations. Somehow it worked anyway. I am, however, incredibly grateful that I managed to get the Tundra villagers and the Taiga villagers. Those are my 2 favorite villager skins, so as you can see, my iron farm is already working. Well, it looks like the baby villagers have been a bad influence on the iron golem, as he is now jumping on the bed. Side note, I have a whole lot of baby villagers now. So that's good. I just have to wait for it to be night and try to get them all into a slightly more contained position. Come on, first try. Let's get this thing. No, in the water. In the water. And in we go. First try. That's how you do it. Well, now that we've gotten the annoying bits out of the way, that being digging this hole and getting a zombie, I think we can move on safely to the next part. So what I have done is I probably could have left most of this full, and I might even come back and fill some of this in, honestly. But I wanted to make sure that there were no caves that were going to interfere with this. I'm glad I did that, because that cave might have been a problem. And then this one as well. That doesn't help me at all. I think I've filled in a little bit of the brick around here, because I think this used to open up a little bit more. But yeah, this is full of snow. And that cave right there, that could have been a problem. Maybe, maybe not. I really just wanted to double check that there wasn't going to be any interference with any little pocket or anything. So that has been taken care of. From there, I went and made sure that I had above and below the villagers 6 blocks. The wiki describes it oddly, because in the other instances of the bounding boxes for like its detection of the villager, it says a 16. No, it describes it this. No, it doesn't describe it the same way. It says 16 blocks in every direction from the villager. It will detect where an iron golem is. And then when it's talking about spawning one in, it says it can spawn them in a 17 by 17 by 13 box centered on the villager, which would say 17 blocks with the villager in the middle, 13 blocks with the villager in the middle. And I think it's because it's not exactly 16 or 17 by 17 blocks. It's kind of almost 16 blocks or 17 blocks. So more like 16 and 3/3, maybe, something like that. But yeah, now that that's out of the way, let's talk about what we're doing here. So I'm trying to do like a very large mine shaft entrance, and I want to kind of bring it out to make it look larger and more imposing a little bit. Like, I don't want it to be overshadowing, but I do want it to be noticeable. So I've made it a little larger than it probably needs to be. And then what I'm probably going to do, we're in the new update, so I can't use a zoom anymore. What I'm probably going to do is once I get like a top beam or something, I'm going to come back in with a bunch of the snow and then kind of fill in a cover over it, maybe some of the snow creeping over the top, spilling over a little bit. And that'll be the entrance. And then from there, the minecart will come out, zoop down here, zoop across, and then zoop down a little bit more, and then into this thing. We'll get there in a bit. But first, I don't know, do I want to move the villagers in now? I think let's get the mine shaft up. Let's do that. So originally I was going to use stripped spruce, but then for some reason I ended up laying it out with the dark oak, and honestly, I'm pretty happy with the dark oak. I'll give it a try. Why not? I've got more than I will ever use. I also was mildly bored the other day and filled out the rest of this map. So there you go. There's like 3 ocean monuments right in a row right here, which is kind of cool, but it's too far away for me to find them useful. I'm pretty sure there's one in this body of water here, but you don't care about that. You care about my spruce wood. So have you guys played around with the new update? Any favorite blocks? Anything you wish they added? Like, I think I was saying it in my video, but I don't think I ever finished what I was saying. But I like the ground. I didn't mean to do that. I like the ground litter, but I really wish that they had variety. You know, I really think that this goes up 4 from here, 3 from here. I really wish that they had like one of the yellow and white and then one with like a red and white, you know? I just think that would have been nice. Maybe it could even be all in the same block, just like, you know, a little bit of red, mostly yellow, and then, you know, like a little yellow, mostly red, that kind of thing. That would have been nice. I would have liked that. But with it just being the yellow and the white, I mean, I guess that makes sense because I think most weed flowers tend to be like that anyway. Alright, from here, virtually no difference. I can't imagine it gets clearer from farther away. Still basically no difference. Okay. My next option is to try it stripped, because that was originally what I was going to do anyway. Okay, there we go. I like the darkness, but I do like the contrast of the spruce. Yeah, I think that one stands out more. Okay, we'll go with that, and then I might do the same. I guess I probably would do the same kind of wood for the top beam, huh? I want to try doubling the thickness up a little bit. Alright, let's give another flyaway and see if that's even noticeable. You know what? I think that does help. It makes it look less flat. Feels more substantial. Not as noticeable from down here, which is to be expected. But overall, let's try to get a little bit of an angle. I think that's a good call, honestly. I feel like that's the right size. It fits in pretty well. Yeah, I like that. Okay. So for the top beam, do I want to inset it back one or forward one? Or just straight across the top? I think if I can pull it out more, that might give it a little bit more interest and depth, perhaps? Perchance? Okay. I think that probably needs to come out one more on either side. And let's check the distance. I do think that that outward push just gives it a little bit more. And then from a little bit of an angle. Yeah, that feels good. Okay. I kind of like that. You laughed at me. Oh, that's perfect. Somehow that lined up exactly with the roof of this part. That's awesome. Okay. And then some minor deforestation and a little bit of terraforming. I think I'll pull this part of the mound back a little bit. Clean up the entrance a little. And I think I'll use some of the spare stone that I've got and make this mine entrance look a little bit more miney and less dirty. So this is nowhere near finished, but it'll give you an idea of what I'm going for as far as the outside of the mine itself. So I pulled this back a little bit because I think this is a mine entrance. It's going to be worn pretty evenly either way and definitely cleared when needed. And then kind of try to build it up as if there's kind of a lot piled up on top of it. And then it's kind of coming down a little bit and pouring into this area. And it's probably cleared away fairly regularly. I will eventually, by eventually I mean sometime this episode, I will be clearing out this area. The top here, I think what I'm going to do is come in with a stone and do like this on both sides, and then maybe try to make this a round entrance. Maybe not exactly round, but make this look like it's actually been, you know, bored out of the stone rather than just suddenly there's snow on the roof. Especially since that's going to be very obvious because our view is mostly going to be from way down here. So that is going to have to change. Unfortunately, though, what I need to do is actually just mine a whole bunch of snow. So I'm actually going to have to set up a good old snow golem farm to get all of the terraforming out of the way. After tweaking it a little bit, I decided it's just time to full send it. I think I just got to set it up. So I have already laid the track down here. Got to turn that on. And then we give that a slight push. And off they go. And then next in line. And none coming down, which means my trap has worked successfully. Yep, that is the way to do it. On second thought, I think I'll wait to get them in that container until it's a little closer to night. I would like them to jump into bed as soon as possible. In the meantime, though, I decided that I would go ahead and just set it up at the bottom layer. It'll just make things easier. I will have to either slab or remove this layer. I will probably just remove it. That'll make things easier. So this is a 4x4 platform for them to spawn on. Oh, I should have made that a different block. Where is it? Here we go. That should have been a shroom light. Because they cannot spawn on that. On glowstone. Yeah. Nothing revolutionary about this. They'll spawn here, they go over here, this kills them, and then I will have a water stream that will push the items down here, up a water tube, and then into the collection area. It'll be fun. The time has come. Let's get this thing going. F3B so we don't accidentally hit our villager. And boop. Nope. Boop. Nice. So now is to take out the entire platform. So the only place they have to spawn when they get out of bed is that block there. Get all this junk out of the way. And clear this. Because I want to run a test real quick. And cross your fingers. Cross your toes. And break this. Nice. It is as fast as this kind of farm can be. The only thing I think that would be faster is if I dropped them out of the detection zone, killed them down below that. That would be the fastest way to do that. But this will do for what I want. Well, iron farm done. Now it's time to pretty this thing up a little bit. What do you say? I think that's what I say. All right, let's take a look. Not exactly the smooth landing I wanted, but okay. We are getting somewhere. That is looking pretty good. I think I want to add some color to the snow, so I might do, I guess, ice? Ice is the thing I think that would work there, right? Yeah, I guess that'd be ice. Because I don't think I would do rock hanging over the log. I could do some dirt, could do that, but that would blend in with the logs. So ice is the way to go, I'd say. But I really like the way that's going. Okay. So I went ahead and shaved the inside a little bit. Wow, that was a rough landing. The entrance to the cave actually comes down a little bit. And the entrance to the cave... Did I say that right? The ceiling of the cave slopes down and the floor of the cave slopes down. I decided to go with blocks of 3. That way I could have a very gentle slope in general. I don't know what I'm going to do about this area. Because honestly, my main thought was like, I really only needed to be fancy from most angles. And I feel like here is, you know, probably where I'm going to be looking at it from the most of the time, I'd say. I will probably come in and go ahead and slab this area. I brought the ceiling down as well. I might bring it down a little bit more, actually. But what I need to do now, I'm kind of... Okay, so I'm putting off... First of all, I'm putting off building the actual building. But I'm also trying to put off building the rail and all of that redstone yak. Why aren't you burning? So one lesson I learned is that I probably should have put fences all the way around, and I will probably go back and do that because occasionally, and actually honestly, pretty often they will actually get stuck in the walls because the block that the villagers are trying to spawn them on is like that one there kind of thing. So I think I'll go and replace these with fences, but as of right now, it does exactly what it's supposed to. It's just a little slower than I wanted. And I guess these really aren't necessary then, are they? Alright, that should fix it. I guess I'll have to wait and find out. Either way, I probably ought to get started on the building, because that way I will know actually where I need the minecart to go into. So, let me get the base up. Well, as you can see, I still have the wool there, marking out where the original square was. And that was a 14 by 14 square. And obviously, that was always just a rough outline to begin with anyway. So I played around with some shapes and looked at a couple of reference pictures and found that a lot of them have kind of a gentle slant on the roof, or they are kind of like tall with just a very pointy roof, I would say. So I decided to combine both of them. The scale is probably not the same for the pictures, but it's Minecraft. On a side note, how good is that? I don't think I'm going to take that back to copper. I think I like that as the very like muted green. Oh, it's so good. I'll have to wax it to keep it that way, but that is nice. Anyway, I think I'm actually going to go for the same kind of roof, the same color on this. It's an industrial building, so it's not going to be super detailed. There might be windows occasionally. I mean, there will have to be windows. There will be a entry for the minecart on the top of this one building to feed into the mechanisms in there that's going in. But other than that, it's not really that interesting. It's going to be like, the roof, the floor, pop out a couple of windows, and then I guess I get on the minecart track. So I've done a little work. And I got the smokestacks in, I got the roofs on. Pretty happy with those. Actually, now that I think about it, that's about all I did. I did add the base there. I think that's a good touch. And as you can kind of see, I ran out of already aged copper, so I've had to use a little bit of the regular stuff, which is fine. I think I'm actually going to shave this one back to that level, or I might take it all the way to the base and then just let it go and see which stage I like, but I think we're going to take it to that one. Oh, to point out, I'm using the same trick I used on these little spiky things. The things on top of the flying buttresses. Just sort of, in this case I wanted to give shadow, but in this case I kind of want to give dirt and grime. So I'm going with the deep slate, the tough, and then the regular stone. And I think that does what I'm looking for pretty well. It's kind of a small scale for shading like that, but I think it does what it's supposed to. I can't decide if those are too tall or not. I feel like they might be too tall. Let me know. But I want to come in and do windows and a little, yes, windows and just kind of generally making the face of the building look a little better. So I think we're going to have down the middle, that is going to be solid brick. Coming to the side, and I probably need to test that first. Let me see. I need to know if a glass pane will attach to a brick wall. It does. Fantastic. So we've got center point. We're going to try anyway. Brick wall, glass wall, and then I think here on the bottom we'll do stairs. So we do glass down the middle, walls on the side, and let's see how that looks. Hopefully that is pretty good. Okay. I think that's too much for this size building though. So I think what I might do is just the stairs on the bottom for length and skip the walls. That's cool. I'll keep that in mind for future. Although maybe, what if instead I just did the stairs where the window is? It looks like that actually looks better. Okay. I still think for this size building, it needs to just be the long windows with the stairs on the bottom. But that's fine. I'm glad I tested that. So as far as the building itself goes, I now have the shape of it and I know where the storage is going to be for it. So I think for actual like maximum aesthetic, I guess, I wanted to look, I want the minecart coming into the building to be very obvious. So I think I'm going to take it in the side of the top here. Say, let's aim for there, see what that looks like. That feels good. Okay. Yeah, so on a lot of the industrial, like, ironwork buildings that I've been seeing pictures of, it seems like they have very long, narrow windows. Or maybe it's just the scale that makes them look narrow, but they definitely look long, for sure. What I think I might do, since I'm not doing the walls, is actually move that over one. And I think I can fit... I think I can fit one more in here. Oh, yeah. Nice. Okay. That actually looks really good. Okay. All right. I guess I'm going to add another one in the middle of those two on the bottom level. Unless I can figure out a better way to split those. I think on the side, it might be kind of interesting. We'll see. Because obviously I need to put storage in there, but I think that's going to go on the back wall, so that should be fine. You know what? Actually, just doing them in the same spot should be just fine. I don't know if I want to do them slightly smaller, because they are the bottom floor. We'll give it a try, though. Okay, I like that. That is going pretty much a lot better than I thought it was going to be honest. I'm going to get the rest of the windows in, and I think that we'll then start working on the layout for the minecart. Yeah, that sounds good. Okay, cool. We'll do that. All right, let's see how this looks. I tell you what, that looks pretty good. Man, and the regular terracotta? I did not have high hopes for that. Man, that blends in so well. Yeah, I like that. Okay. I tried the red, but that was just too much. Yeah. Although that's actually not too bad. That's significantly more of a focus color, so I feel like that would pull the focus more to that as the intended texture, if that makes sense. Whereas that one feels like it's all pretty uniform, which is really cool. Okay. I think I'm going to study, and by that I mean find a YouTube video that is about the 2 redstone things that I need to build. The first one being the pickup, and the second one being the drop-off. And then I will get back to you. This has been a lot of fun. For some reason they stop, and I'm not entirely... Oh, it's this wall. I can't believe I forgot. I gotta take this out. A beautiful Minecraft morning. Good grief. Was that a pain? Let me show you. First of all, if this works, which it should, I've tested most every bit of it, and every bit of it works. I just haven't tested it all together. Which I'm now realizing I have a fatal flaw in this. Okay. So I don't have a minecart return because of the method for elevation I went. What can I do about that? So I think what if I do is if I do this. No. Okay. I've done this many times with villagers, so it's not a problem. You do this, and then you do that, and then I can break this. That will still be going off. If I just do this, and let's say we'll replace, actually, you know what? Let's take this down one more level. I thought I was done, and they just keep pulling me back in. Let's start from the top. We have the villagers. They're going to spawn the iron golem here. The iron golem is going to die. Brutally, unfortunately, both on fire and wet at the same time. It's drops. So the iron gets pulled here. The pansies, or I guess are they roses now? No, they used to be roses, now they're poppies. Right, okay. Poppies go to the end of here, where I will probably just burn them. I haven't yet because I wanted to make sure this wasn't going to get overloaded. But if you're getting like 3 or 4 ingots at a time, you're not really going to overload something, you know, like the classic item sorter. So that feeds into here, which then feeds into here, which feeds into this chest, which is attached to this fence thing. Redstone is really not my thing. This is a minecart loader. So this barrel is full of blocks. This is to set the amount of stuff that we want going into the minecart, the hopper minecart. And once that has reached, I think, about the same amount, it will then let go this fence gate, which then lets the minecart go up this track, which will then go up here, and then right out here. Hopefully it will go that way. I will have to test that. We'll see how that happens. It then comes over here, it goes down here, and it will eventually go all the way to there, where it will then unload the items, and all of the iron will then go into here. Now, the thing is, this is a auto crafter, and I basically just wanted to make a block. So what I'm going to do is feed in these. As this fills up, the signal gets stronger until eventually it goes all the way. However, because it doesn't fill all the way up, the signal doesn't get all the way across, meaning that it doesn't eject the next item. Pretty cool stuff. It's going to do that. This is going to be hooked to a chest and stuff, basically deep iron storage, and then the minecart is going to shoot back off, back up to the mine for the next volley. It should be very cool. I just hope this works. So I'm going to test the one direction. Well, we'll test going back for now. So we'll say, start it here, and just assume that you got a whole bunch of speed. It does have velocity. Okay. I think I can fix that very simply, actually. So let's go ahead and do this again. Ooh, so much speed. Stopped. You know what? This is actually fine. I know I sound like a dog in a burning house right now, but this is fine. This is fine. This third time should actually be the charm. So, we'll send you off with all the gusto we have. You go there, you fall down the thing. You do that. Nice. You start loading up with items. Very fast. Fast enough for us to actually try to like run up here and show you what this part looks like. Nice. I can't believe it actually went the direction I wanted it to. Now, obviously, there will be powered rails and other stuff here, but for now, this is going to feed into here. And it is only going to make iron blocks. So cool. So good. Oh, I'm so glad that worked. Okay, so now, all I have to do is, I have two things left to do. I have to make the storage itself. I have to make sure that the minecart can make it all the way back up. And then I have to make the minecart track pretty. So that is 3 things. I lied. Those shouldn't be hard to do. I should be able to do all of those quickly. Oh, man. Okay, well, this has taken so much longer than I thought it was going to, but I know it will be worth it. I just have to get through it. So I'm going to do one more time lapse of me getting the track set up and making it look pretty, and then we can come back and marvel at my magnificent 200 IQ play, and we'll talk about it. We'll have fun. So stay tuned. Fingers crossed, but I believe we are finished. Now, let's take a look and make sure that this is actually going to work. We'll start from this end since we're already here. I went ahead and made up the minecart track. This is a little more jagged than I would like, but you're kind of limited with what you can do with that, so it is what it is as far as that goes. I do like the supports, though. Let's get inside. So this is the little chute that the minecart goes down. Comes in here, stops here, and turns this off if it's full from the comparator. It then loads everything in here. The signal strength comes around here, and then once it's full, it plops out a block into this giant tower of chests, and then sends the minecart back up, and hopefully goes all the way up here, through this little zigzag, goes down this chute, comes down here, goes over there, yada yada yada, and then gets filled up again. Now, I have, in the process of building this, acquired a lot of iron. I don't know if that's because this farm is super efficient, or if it's because I kind of took forever to do all of this. But I think that's probably the latter, not gonna lie. So let's fill this up. So my understanding is that a comparator is going to read the relative fullness of the barrel. So as an example, when I get all of these in here, it is going to be 100% full. and it is going to try to fill the hopper minecart up 100% so that it's about even as far as the signal strength as the barrel. I think that's how that works. I might be wrong. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put, we will go with, for now, just 6 stacks. And there's a little bit over. Okay. That shouldn't be a problem. So let's get this on. Let's see, because I want to watch each of the individual parts. Oh, that has to be a block, doesn't it? It sure does. Okay. We will go with you. And get that out of there, and off you go. So it is now locked and trying to fill up. Once that happens, the gate will open. It'll come up here, go into the water stream. I know minecart hoppers fill up super fast. Yep, okay, here it goes. Oh, yep, I probably ought to turn it on. Goes up there. That is very slow. I will have to add some sort of thing to that. It goes down here. Oh, what am I doing wrong? What is this? Why are you doing this? Well, that's a shame. Why is this not working all of a sudden? At least it didn't make it all into nuggets. Why are you just passing through like that? I don't understand. I promise you this worked when I was testing it earlier. I do not understand. Okay. I think this has to be a chest for this to work. So that is now feeding directly into a chest instead of a hopper. So the hopper was probably just pulling them out. Is that what's going on? So it detects the items. And great success. Finally. Okay, here we go. It actually made it all the way up. That's good. I, for some reason, have expected it not to. And it's already on its way back. And off to the races. And down here I should have 18 iron blocks. Oh, I tell you what, I am so glad I built this. But also, that was a lot more work than I was expecting. The hardest part was probably just figuring out the track and how I wanted to do the return section, stuff like that. And I'm kind of glad, actually, that I decided to wait and do the actual minecart part afterwards, because I kind of think that if I had decided to do them in the beginning, this episode might have taken, like, I don't know, it might have come out next week. Speaking of this week, though, I have plans. I will be watching the Minecraft movie. I will be upfront and say that I do not have high hopes for this thing, but I am willing to give it a chance and see how it goes. So, if you want to see my review of the Minecraft movie, I will be putting that out later this week, when we eventually go and see it, obviously. And I may be reviewing it with Rob Frost, so that'll be fun. No problem, no problem. So I am probably going to spend, I don't know, the next day or so, when I'm in this world anyway, just making sure that this isn't going to be a problem when, like, I load the chunk or unload a chunk or load into the world and out of it, and make sure that there's no place that it's going to get stuck. If there is, it'll probably be along this section. But as of right now, it seems to be going okay. I really like that it's kind of constantly going, because, you know, it might pick up 5 iron here, 12 iron there, but other than that, it's going to be pretty consistently just running. And that little bit of movement, I think, is going to be a really nice little touch for this world. That's so good. I'm so happy I finally did this. Oh yeah, look at it go. And it'll immediately come back out, because there's like 5 pieces in there. And just zoops back up. Oh, so good. Thank you so much for watching all of this video. If you did, please like, subscribe, maybe leave a comment telling me how bad my redstone is. But thank you so much for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Bye-bye.